Celeb Secrets is hanging out with Nolan today. What is going on? How are you?
Oh, just having a great day after a long weekend. How are you?
I'm great. I cannot believe that it's Tuesday. It's summer, thank goodness. I feel like
Yes.
it's a long time coming.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm a big fan of warm weather, so the faster it gets here, the better for me.
Right? Oh my gosh. But I want to talk about your music and everything that's going on with you, because I remember seeing you in like Red Band Society and prom and things like that. So now I hear that you're doing music and I'm like, this is so awesome. So maybe take me back to like your whole musical journey. Was music first before acting, or how did that come about?
Music definitely was first. I think, going back to when I was a little kid, I always sang and performed for my parents. And when they had friends over, I'd come out dressed up and put on little performances. And that's kind of what took me out to LA in the first place, was music. I happened to, get a couple lucky breaks, I like to call them, and I had to, kind of roll with the punches and take them wherever they took me. But throughout all that time, I was always working on music in the background. I wanted music to be the focus. So that's the way it's been the last 3 years. And now that, we finally reached the first single with my team and everything, it's exciting to get the ball rolling, and with the world kind of opening back up and live music being, on the horizon, it's extremely exciting.
I know. And now, was it always country music for you, or is this pretty new?
It's like a combination of a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I grew up on what was played in my dad's truck was George Strait, Alan Jackson, like Jimmy Buffett, The Temptations. So I draw off a lot of those guys for influence. And when it came to songwriting, which is where, I felt like I had like an artist heart, felt like I drew from the country realm. And then obviously, growing up, I grew up in the 90s and then the early 2000s. There's, you have like your NSYNC and your Backstreet Boys, and then different type of rock music comes. And then as you start to just fall in love with music, as you're a creator, then you just go back and study, anybody you can possibly find to draw from.
And why did you choose now to release music? I know this is like your first country single.
I mean, honestly, it's been such a long time coming. I've been going to Nashville now for 3 years. But I've been writing for probably what feels like a decade. Probably not very good songs, but when the songs get there, when the product gets there, you kind of just know. And with this last single, I got the chance to write it with Keith Stegall after having the privilege to even have a meeting with him, and he kind of took me under his wing. And I walked into the right just thinking, hey, I'm gonna sit back, learn from this guy. And after we left that day, I was like, we got something special. And I played for my team, and immediately everyone was taken after it. So that's kind of like when you know.
I know you really talked about, your musical influences, but if you could maybe describe your sound in a few words, what does that sound like?
I tend to describe it as soulful country rock.
I love it. I love it. Now let's talk about the new single, Stop. You kind of touched a little bit on it. Take us through that writing and recording process for you.
Writing it with Keith was, like I said, he brought in this idea. And I try to be prepared. I walk in the rights with ideas, but at the same time, like, this is a legend that I'm in the room with. I mentioned I grew up listening to Alan Jackson, so like being in the room with the guy who made all those records or had a hand in all those records was astounding for me. And I was doing my best just to learn and not be starstruck. We somehow came up with a great song, and the recording process was fantastic. Keith is laid back in the same way that he writes when we're producing, but he kind of knows where he wants to take the song and where he wants to take the project, but he also allows me to like give my input and kind of give my own taste to it, because he finds that extremely important. So it was a pleasure to work with him and to learn from him and be able to kind of grow in that mindset.
Yeah, I love that. And I know you did like a video in Fame Studios with him and everybody else, so that had to be really cool for you.
Yeah, going down to Alabama to Fame Studios was unbelievable. It was his idea to like go do horns down there, and that was, just walking in there, it's like you get goosebumps. It was just a surreal experience. I look forward to going back down there again.
Totally. And you did say that you looked up to Keith, and I know he's kind of like a mentor to you. Is there anything maybe that you learned from working with him on this song?
I think kind of what he most impacted me with, I think, at least through this session, was to just like trust the song and trust the performance, and to really just to dive in more and more and just focus on the performance, not get too much in my head. Because I want to be prepared. I want to come in and I want to outwork anybody. But when it comes to, you know, making music and making stuff that's going to move people, it's a matter of being in the moment and letting that emotion stir you right then and there, which makes sense. And I can draw from that from the acting world. But, you know, it was nice to kind of hear those words of, you know, reassurance from him when I'm standing there in the booth. I'm singing, recording obviously with Keith. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. And maybe talk about the concept a little bit, you know, maybe dig deeper into the lyrics.
It's about a relationship gone awry, and, you know, you're pretty much just looking at this person and be like, hey, look, we don't have to throw this whole thing away. We can work on it. And this could be still something so great. So you're just telling them to stop.
Yeah, and what's like the fan reaction been so far? Because I know the song's been out for a couple weeks now.
Man, the fans have been awesome, truly. I'm so thankful for them. I think I played it back when I first wrote it. I think I played on like one random live stream that I was doing on Instagram or Facebook, and they kept on like requesting it afterwards, and I was like, I can't play because like I know it's gonna be the single, and they're all like, they're wanting to hear. I'm like, guys, no, I'm not doing that one. I'm sorry, I hate to let you down, but and they probably just thought I was being some punk, but I was like, don't worry, you're gonna be able to hear it. And they've gone crazy with it. They're sharing it, they're making playlists, and, you know, I can't thank them enough, honestly.
Now, is this a taste of what new music is gonna be like from you? Because I'm assuming you have all these songs just in the bank ready to go.
Yeah, I think I'm not the only one in that aspect, but no, absolutely. This is definitely a taste. I think, you know, I mentioned there's like so many influences for me, between the countryside and the soulful thing, and then the rock, and then just like, you know, even like new age country has a big influence. And, you know, I want to create stuff that is current and that works now. So, you know, that's like maybe one side of the spectrum, and then there'll be stuff that, you know, may span and stretch as far as my artistry goes. And then, you know, there'll be stuff where you can kind of like bounce between the two and then find some stuff in the middle.
Now, like, do you have an EP coming out soon? Is there like a timeline of when these new songs are coming?
There is no EP at this point, no date. Right now, we're just focusing on Stop as a single, and you know, we do have more music ready to go. So when we're ready to drop more singles, which will be soon, I don't have a date, and even if I did, I don't think I could say it. But you know, that'll be rolling out here.
Oh my gosh, exciting. And you have to be really hyped too, because the world is starting to open up again. Live shows are going to be happening. I know you're going to be doing Country Thunder. Talk to us about like getting back with live shows.
So being able to go and play these songs that for the last year and change have just been work tapes, been, you know, me singing guitar vocal and then putting them together with an entire band. It's like, it's a rush being in rehearsal. It's awesome to, you know, feel like guys are responding to it. Your band is like liking what you're writing, what you're believing in. So then to put a whole show together, I can't wait for Country Thunder. The first one's in a couple weeks, and I have rehearsal tomorrow night. I'm just stoked to be with the guys and be able to play and put on a show. Honestly, I'm looking forward to never taking anything like that or like what's coming for granted ever again. And like every time I go out there, I want to be like, it's my last show and give it everything I got.
Oh, totally. I know that it's coming to Arizona like in October, and I've been eyeing it. I'm like, I want to take a trip to the desert.
Yes, you should go. Absolutely, you should go. It's beautiful out there too. I went there a couple years ago, and the sunsets are incredible, and the acts are incredible. Just the whole atmosphere. Country Thunder is awesome. I'm appreciative of them for having me out. It's gonna be sick.
I know you were playing shows with Riley Green. Correct me if I'm wrong. What was that like? Because I know he's pretty rowdy and has a good time out there.
Well, I only had the chance to open up for him for one show out in Texas. But I will say this. I had a chance to watch him from, you know, the front of stage rather than being behind the scenes, and it's, you know, you learn a lot from guys like that are pros. You know, I was just kind of taking it in, doing the best I could, and I wasn't actively taking notes, but I was taking mental ones. And like the next day I was talking with my team of like stuff I wanted to already change, stuff I wanted to work on. So it's just nice to be able to be out there learning from guys that really know what they're doing.
Let's talk like maybe 2021, the rest of the year. What are some of your goals and aspirations that you have for you?
Yeah, I would love to be able to play some in the Northeast. you know, as it gets warmer and as the world's kind of opening back up, it's going to be maybe a last minute type of thing, but I'd love to do a little run up north.